Hey, buddy, let's get this show on the road. Stella will have you spinning like a helicopter propeller. I haven't had a drink in a while. I wish I had some whiskey like Whiskey Joe, which is what you're hearing. Okay, so February, it's Thursday, February 27th, 2025. And I'm going to talk about a movie that I was going to review a couple of days ago, but some things got in the way, specifically that Richard Lehman book, All Hallows Eve. I hope someone read it. It's really good. But I was gonna review a movie called not that. It's called One Man's Justice, aka One Tough Bastard. And actually, I implore you to seek out the now defunct podcast called Action Action, or Canadian Brothers to the North. They review this movie, and their review is awesome. In fact, I think they were my favorite podcast. They were so funny, and well, a lot of podcasts do like movie reviews. I think they try to be funny at the sacrifice of the movie. Like they'll put the movie down and laugh at it. And they're like, listen to me. Don't care about the movie. Action Action guys, they're just like two are brothers, and the third is like their best friend, and they just have this rapport with each other. They were just so funny, and they would what they would say about the movie was funny too. But and they're so good. Anyway, they reviewed One Man's Justice, which I had actually seen like when it came out like on cable. I remember scenes, and when I listened to their review, it's like, man, I want to see it again. The VHS is like $40-$50. I don't think it was ever released on DVD. And it's just impossible to get. It's not streaming anywhere, I don't think, but I found it on YouTube. I typed in One Man's Justice, one Man's Justice, and like the thumbnail was the VHS cover. And I clicked on it, and it was a Seagal movie, and I was like, oh my god! But then right below it was something called Justice Be Done, and then that was One Man's Justice. I don't know how it works. I mean, why it came up like that. But I watched it, and I have to say, like, the running time on IMDb is an hour and 40 minutes. On YouTube, it said an hour 36 minutes, and you could tell parts were chopped off, edited, whatever, very badly. Action scenes were cut down, and I think a couple within 4 minutes, there's you can fit a lot of action in 4 minutes. So I think some action scenes were excised completely, while others were shortened, and it really took away from the movie. But I was still glad I was able to see it, and while I will admit it's not as good as I remember, it is still really good, and there's like the action's good. Brian Bosworth is the hero. If you remember him from Stone Cold, and he's watching again as a man. Brian Bosworth is a good action guy. He did make a lot of movies, but just seemed kind of slip away. And Stone Cold is really good, and this is really good. So he should have kept that ball rolling. Bruce Payne is the villain in this, and he is, oh my god, he, for all like the stuff cut out of this movie, it's worth seeing for him and the way he is. He's an FBI agent, but he's got long hair and a nose ring. He looks like a villain. He wears a trench coat, and then he has like two FBI henchmen with him who also have long hair, and like earrings and nose rings and trench coats. And so Brian Bosworth, he's like a drill sergeant. And they even have a scene kind of like, there's no drill sergeant scene that's ever gonna come close or top R. Lee Ermey's drill instructor in Full Metal Jacket, but they try in here, and it's pretty laughable. But it's cool because it sets up that Boz is a badass and he can fight. And his fighting technique in the movie, it looked legitimate to me. I mean, I know it's not, but he made it look good. The way he takes people down, takes their guns away. So, like, he's married. His wife and daughter, they stop at a gas station, and then the gas station gets robbed. And his wife gets killed, and his daughter gets, like, injured really bad, and then eventually she dies. So Boz goes after the killer. The killer, I didn't look him up, I didn't write his name down, but he was a good scumbag. Very hateable, very unlikable, but very weaselly. But he looks tough too, but he's just like you hate him and you want to see him. He's really good at that. And at the end of the movie, he's dressed like a gangster Mexican with the headband and the flannel shirt, like the top button. He looks funny. So I guess this guy is like an informant or a crony for Bruce Payne's character. But it's weird because Bruce Payne is like, you killed a kid, you deserve to die, but he's still protecting him from Bosworth. There's some stuff with the little kid, gangster kid, who he was actually pretty good. Like the way he tried to, it was weird because he's like innocent looking little kid, but he's trying to act tough, like be a street thug. Oh yeah, and I wrote all this crap down. So it's from 1996. It's co-directed by Kurt Anderson and Kurt Wimmer. And it's written by Steve Selling, but I think this is the only thing he ever wrote. So Kurt Anderson, he's written and directed and produced stuff, I guess, but he directed Open Fire, Martial Outlaw, Dead Cold, and The Killing Grounds, which I think I reviewed. That was pretty good. But this is just more like a, Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, trying to be like Hong Kong action movie. And Kurt Wimmer, he directed Ultraviolet, which I have and I haven't seen it, and Equilibrium, which I also have and I have seen it. I didn't like it that much. It was okay. But like he did this and then he went on to, I think, do Ultraviolet and then Equilibrium. And he's written, this Kurt Wimmer guy, he wrote The Expendables 4, which is horrible. He wrote the Point Break remake, the Total Call remake, the Children of the Corn remake. He wrote Law Abiding Citizen and the Thomas Crown Affair. And he also wrote The Beekeeper, which I really liked. But I know that I've heard that when a script gets rewritten like so many times, so, whether they're good or bad, maybe then it's not his fault if they're really bad. I mean, I haven't seen the Point Break remake. Total Recall was okay. It's just crazy how like he made this and was able to like make a career out of it. Again, Bruce Payne is just. I have to give credit to the Action review. They point out where like he goes. Bruce Payne's character goes to some place and he's talking to his secretary, and the secretary's like, "Are you a cop?" And he's like, "I am the cop." And the way he says it, he sells it. It's a stupid line, but he's so good. Just his face and his hair. Yeah, so many good parts because of him. I want to get the VHS, or I was telling Lom, my friend Lom, and then he was emailing back and forth. It was the last time he did an email, and how like action movies just aren't as popular as like to put out as horror movies, but it's definitely action movies that should be given the treatment that something like Santa Sangre, or like the way, like Severin and Vinegar Syndrome, the care and dedication they give to horror movies. There's a lot of action movies that should get that treatment. What else did I write down? I guess that's about it. But and the action is good. It's a it's not like super bloody or gory like Dread 3D or Punisher Warzone or Rambo, but it's good. It's exciting. There's a lot of like Hong Kong influence. I guess they had just seen like The Killer and Hardboiled like a few years before this, but yeah. But should you watch it on YouTube? I really can't say you should because how chopped up it is. Should you pay $40 for a VHS? Man, or I mean, I don't have the capability or technology to like steal it from the internet, but maybe you do, or someone who does, and you should do that and send me a copy. So I would give it man, a 4 out of 5 because it's a lot of fun. Again, Boz is a great hero, and Bruce Payne is a great villain. Yeah, I've been sitting on this one for like a week now. It's a movie I think about a lot. Like movies that. Another one is Firepower, but I think I've reviewed that in the past. So, but yeah, One Man's Justice, aka One Tough Bastard. Thanks to Action Podcast for bringing that up and bringing it to the surface and putting it on my radar again. And I'll see you later.